Hello, today I'm going to be painting this little French scene. Just done a little outline drawing of this, and now it's just a case of splashing a bit of paint, a little bit of colours over. So firstly I'm going to be putting just like a mood colour in here, so it's got bits of, I want lots of pinks in this colour and purple, so I want to try and keep as much light as possible in this, because I'm going to have a bit of speckledness, if that's a word, over this image. Right, so just adding different bits of colours on here, and some darker colours at the bottom and some lovely purples. See, I'm not being too precious with this, and a bit of sky, because this is going to be like the one back wash, so it's very much loose, wet in wet, and I'm going to lift out a few areas with my trusty little handkerchief. Fetch a few areas out that I want to keep as light as I can for different reasons, and little bits of speckled light splashing around the place. Now just get a bit of dark colour for the foreground, just to give it a bit of weight. Now once that's dried, we can make a mixture of French ultramarine and a little bit of opera rose with that, a nice bit of purple. So just painting some shadows under the eaves, leaving a spot out there where I'm going to put some green. So a little area here for the roof. I like to mix the colours up a bit, so I've got a bit of warm colour with there as well. Lift that out, just splash that out down there. Add a bit of water to that, just to lighten that up. Don't forget, this is going to dry about 30% lighter. Just adding a bit of dark interest to this side of the building. We're going to have the light coming a little bit from the left hand side and towards us a little bit, so it is scattering light on the building as well, but mainly it's powering down on the left hand side. And we're going to have some trees and leaves which are out of the building a little bit further towards us, which is just casting a shadow upon this building on the left hand side and also on the building, so we can't really see the leaves, but we'll see the effect of the shadow from those leaves. This is one of the windows. Paint one of the windows in just a dark colour. So here we just added a bit of wet and wet and letting the colours run into each other, letting the paint do the work for us. A little darker as we get towards the bottom of the image, or whatever I'm painting at that time. A bit of French ultramarine there. I'm working mainly with French ultramarine, opera rose, cad yellow, cad orange, a little bit of purple now and again. And when I do the trees, it's going to be a little bit of viridian, phthalo green light, and some olive green. So just putting a few odd bits of colour in. Now, and I will also use a little bit of Payne's Grey just for the darkest areas. So inferring some dappled shadows from a tree which is maybe behind us, but it's casting its shadow upon these areas. It's actually giving the picture an extra dimension by doing that, because it's inferring something that isn't there, that's out of the scene. It's almost like drawing with the tip of the brush. Nice and loose, nice and haphazard. Bit warmer colour here for the stonework at the bottom of this building. Now time for a little bit of green for the fascia of the building. Not being too precious about the exact colour green. Because really we're only using that painting, that photograph, as a reference. So it don't have to be stroke for stroke. We could have painted that red if we wanted to. Really don't matter. It's your picture. There's a little, got a little bit of wooden bit around where the windows will be. Some blinds. Let's get a colour, darker colour for the roof on the other side. Being careful to leave a few little bits of underpaint visible. And now I'm just going to start to work on the inside of this building. Try to decide what they could be selling there. It could be cakes, little bits of patisseries, a little bit of something coloured. It's down to the viewer to decide what's in there. So I'm starting off with a dark colour there, a bit of Van Dyke brown and a little bit of the orange, and fetching the darker colour in here. Right, lift it to dry, and now we've got a different mixture here of, that's a little bit of ultramarine blue and a little bit of Payne's grey actually. Now I'm making some little marks in the top there, so things, whatever, something could be happening in the back there, or different shapes that could be having its way on the shadows. So now while that's drying, I'll put the inside of this window in here. So we've got the blinds on either side. Be careful to go just up to the left hand side, or the right hand side of that blind. Putting that over it. And the thing about with water, which I love about watercolour, is it dries and then it leaves you an opportunity to drop some more paint in there, just to strengthen certain areas. I'm painting at about 20 degrees angle here. As you can see, these light little shadows are very light at the moment. We can always, and we will, on the final pass, will strengthen these to certain areas. And bring it all together with some darker colour. Some air cooling fans on the outside of the building. See, if you go over a colour with the same colour, all it does, it actually strengthens it. So you don't have to be mixing blacks and things up to make that point. Just put another layer of your colour on it. Now this is the greenery that I have at the side of this building. It's floating around the lamp post and scooting around to in front of the entrance to that, back to the side part of this restaurant. So what I'm doing, I'm just using the tip of the brush here and just dancing that tip around. Just dancing it around, making little marks. If it helps, move your fingers a little bit further back so you're holding the brush at a looser angle. the same, that's the same wash of paper, of paint, and because I'm going over it, over that area of the same colour, it just darkens it a little bit. And now you can put your little bits of detail in. So it's like we're just drawing that bit with the brush here. There you go, you don't have to be too neat, too clever with it. Try and be loose. That's the thing with these kind of paintings, looseness is the best way. It gives it a special charm. Now, the same thing, we can add a little bit of darkness to the top of those window panes. Just painting those little areas of window now. And they're going to dry lighter, so we'll be able to put another layer in later. But I'm careful to leave that bit of green on either side. Not bothered about if I paint all of it. I want to leave some white light at the bottom because I want to show that we've got something happening there, something for sale. It might be these buns, or it might even be a florist or whatever, but it's got lots of lovely warm colours contrasting those dark colours. There we go. We'll put a bit of detail in that later. Let's continue that over the inside of that doorway. Mixture of reds and yellows. And I've left a few little white lines across as if these things are on little platforms or on little stands. And I like the way it's fading out. It's fading at the front of those windows. It's fading to the background. I like that. Just borrowing a bit of watercolour from those top window panes then. Now just working on some of the outer buildings. That's a mixture of Payne's Grey with a bit of, I think it's Prussian blue I've picked up there, and that off French ultramarine, one of them. We'll just infer a couple of windows in the background. There you go, upper rows with French ultramarine. just add a few colours in the background, a bit of grey in the background. We'll warm that up as we get to the bottom. So we change that up there. So we've got a bit of warm colour mixing with that, and we mix on the paper. Mix it on the paper, and lets it do its thing itself. Now here I'm just going to suggest that there's like a card stand or something like that. Nothing too clear, because I want the viewer to be able to make their own mind up with that. I see, nice and simple. Get a couple of window panes in to the window on the top left face of this building, and this is a canopy. I'm just going to add a bit of shadow to this canopy. Yeah, nice and simple. Add a bit of shadow to this foliage. Now there's a bit of fencing. Excuse me. There's a bit of fencing here. Like railings. Just simply plonk them down there. And just infer there's a bit of brickwork. Excuse that light. Shadowed that. Sorry about that. That seems to have gone now. I don't know. It's because I was painting this first thing in the morning, and the morning sun was just hitting that. Now and again we got a lovely ray of sunshine coming through, casting some shadow on my painting. Best time to do your painting, about 6 o'clock in the morning. You got the birds singing, and it's just you and your painting, and the world is still fast asleep. Well, it is in my house anyway. I'm using my Fumi brushes, or Fumi brushes. Absolutely wonderful to paint with. Background, we can have a nice bush there. Just make those windows a little bit more believable. And another shutter over here. Just looking around, see what else I can put in here. Put the name of the building. I'm not going to put it too clear. Just an inference of that. Need to sort that foreground out next, I think. So I think I'll use a bigger brush. Just infer there's a bit of pavement here. Now I'm also thinking that maybe it needs something on the right hand leading you into it. I'm gonna suggest maybe a shadow in a bit of a tree there. Just doing little bits of squiggly bits, the darkest areas. Someone's going out on a motorbike. Now then. Yeah, but there's tree shadow coming over here. See, we don't take too much care with this. It's just an inference that there's something on the right hand side which is out of view. Something out of view. Just make that a little bit darker because it is in shade. And I think we're going to call that finished. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this and you picked something up and you've enjoyed it. Have a look at my website. So I'll take away the tape. And there's the finished piece. Thank you for watching.